Hi, hi everybody. This is Pallavi from OurBetterPlanet. We are continuing our lives with founders, and today we are speaking with Maithlee Gohel and Zeal Shah from ReOrigin. ReOrigin is a baby and kids toy sustainable brand, and we'll hear more from the founders themselves. Just give me a minute to add them. Hi, Maithlee. Um, Hi, how are
I'm
you?
good. How are you?
I'm
Yeah.
good. Can both you
Yes.
hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, lovely to have you here.
Yes, same here. How are you, Pallavi?
I'm very well. How are the both
We're
of you?
also doing very good.
And you are in different cities right now,
Yes.
or that's
Yes.
so? Is that always, or are you guys based out of one
No, we're
city,
based
or no?
out of Ahmedabad. Yeah. But
Oh,
yes.
okay, with
Yes.
family right
Yes.
now. Oh, okay, nice. So, where are you guys right now? Just out
Yeah.
of
So I'm
curiosity.
in my home office in Ahmedabad.
Okay,
And
okay,
I'm
okay.
in Chennai right now.
So, okay, okay, great. So, Maithlee, we have spoken, but I haven't met
Z.
Zeal so far. Yeah, yeah. So, can you guys just talk a little bit about your individual selves and then how you came together to create ReOrigin?
Sure. Zeal, please, would you like to start?
Okay. So I am a textile fashion enthusiast, and love for sustainability is what brought Maithlee and I together. And I've been apart from designing for men's and uh, women, we then thought that the textiles that we want to work with would work really well in the kids market, and that's how the entire idea of ReOrigin started. And that's when uh, Maithili decided to move to Ahmedabad and join us for ReOrigin.
Oh,
Alongside it,
okay.
we also design toys, and that's where my little bit of creativity and the childhood dream of making your own toys or whatever came into actual picture. And I also do eco printing. So yeah, so
Okay.
we've been taking workshops and trying to incorporate that in our clothes as well. Should launch a collection soon with eco printing.
And Zeal, you have a
I
design
do.
background.
Yes,
I mean,
I have graduated from MIT ID from Pune. Yes,
okay,
and
okay. Yeah, yeah.
worked at a couple of places after that, and then decided to start something of our own. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, very interesting. Uh, and Maithili, I know a little bit, but don't mind sharing.
No,
That would
no,
be
definitely
nice.
not.
Yeah.
So I am also a fashion and textile designer. I'm in this field since last 15 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've worked in corporates. I've worked with crafts at a very grassroots level, and I've been an
Mm-hmm.
academician. Now,
Okay.
since last 2 years, I am an entrepreneur with ReOrigin, co-founding it with Zeal. I know Zeal since 2013 now. We've been together. So it's been a long
Wow.
association
I
based
was
on which
actually
we
her student,
decided.
and that's yeah,
Yes.
that's
Oh,
how
okay.
initially we were associated. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out. That how did you guys together to create a brand? I was going to ask you, but yeah, okay, now I get. So you were her student
At
where?
MIT ID. She is an accommodation, so she used to teach at MIT.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, okay,
Yes.
yeah. Oh,
And
wow.
in fact was my mentor for
Combination.
my final collection. And yeah, since then I was
Oh,
bugging her with something to do with sustainability, eco-friendly products, and especially the fabrics that we're working with. And
Right.
she's quite, I mean, I think I've got all of my inspiration of, you know, how to incorporate sustainability into your day-to-day life. I think a lot of it comes from her as well, because I mean, there's so many things that you won't even know, and she's already doing it because, of course, like she has her experience, and just basic things like, you know, separating your waste, uh, making the best out of your waste, how to compost at home, a lot of things apart from the brand. So I think that's how we connected as well.
Yeah, she has a lot already going on, you know, in terms of how aware you are as an individual. That's what I gained from that one conversation that I had with her, and that was a fun conversation. Kind of, I was almost venting out my feelings
Thank you guys, both of you, for making me feel so I don't know, an expert, but I'm not. I'm also trying my bit to be just as sustainable as possible. And yes, by
Just said,
sustainable,
someone in the comments just said she was a super cool professor at MIT. That's called, thank you.
thank you, Nupti. That helps a lot. Okay, so yeah, I have been doing this and practicing it since, I don't know, since I was at NID. And that's where the sustainability bug hit me when I was studying at NID. And that was pretty long back, 2005. And there
yeah,
was always this thought that I want to do something meaningful when it comes to fashion
yeah,
and textiles,
yeah,
because it's, I mean, greenwashing has always been there. And
yeah,
after my
right.
stint with a corporate organization where I saw how bad the things are and how polluting our textile industry is and how damaging it
Mm,
is to people and environment, I actually quit it. I couldn't take it anymore. So, you know, after
mm,
having a good stint there, I was like, I can't do this anymore. So I came back to Ahmedabad and I was like, let me start working with crafts, since Gujarat is a place of crafts essentially, and people are
yeah.
very aware of crafts there, you know. So that's how we started. After that, I started teaching. So I was a professor
Mm-hmm.
for good 10 years. I still teach at various places along with ReOrigin. So while I am out, Zeal takes care of things back in the office, and when she is out, I try and take care of things. So I mean, thankfully, I'm very lucky to have her as a partner. And what worked the most was I have seen Zeal evolve over
Mm,
these years. Like I know her how she was in 2013, and now I know what she is as a person in 2023. So when you see that graph, you know, of progress, we understand that okay, whether something works or doesn't work, she's here to give it a try. She's here to give it a very honest effort to it. So you know that's what keeps us going, in spite of our fights and arguments and a lot of differences.
no, it's you guys
So
talking
yeah.
so nicely about each other. Of course, I mean, there's nothing to there's nothing to doubt there. But I'm just saying, so nice of you to support each other and have each other to, you know, take care of things when one is not around. I think that's the best combination, right?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
and there's a lot of mutual respect as well, which is definitely very important if you're doing things together. So that's great. And I think that's that
And this,
reflects.
I'll tell you, yeah, this also works well, and it reflects in our
Yeah,
work. It reflects in our brand, where we are not just respectful to each other, we are respectful to all the artisans who are working with us. We are
yeah.
respectful towards the nature. We are also respectful towards our customers. You know,
Hmm.
so there are no, I mean, thankfully, we don't have a single complaint as of now, operating since last 2 years and having so many customers across India. Thankfully, we've not have had any bad experience with the customer and vice versa. So, you know, all of these things come together when we work together and how we are as individuals.
Of
And
course,
then
yeah.
sustainability is not just about talking about it. It's more like putting it into practice, which is difficult, which is
Yes.
extremely difficult. But yes, people have started doing it. And
Yeah.
it's not just with fashion or clothes or, it starts with lifestyle. So when
It is a
we talk about that little change in lifestyle,
yeah.
it comes across very well in other places.
Yeah.
So yeah,
No,
that also
clarity
works.
or which you guys operate, which is evident here, is also very evident in your the kind of work that you're doing in terms of how your products are, right? Simple, clear, good information, no intention to confuse the end consumer, and clear about the what is going into making it, and also explaining it to people and letting them know that okay, this is how it's being done. Because that's what I gathered from the conversation that I had with you. Because to me, sustainability is mostly about transparency, right? Uh, as soon as you start hiding things, that's where the problem starts, and that's where I think the roots of going in the opposite directions is kind of embedded. Because if there is nothing to hide, then probably there is nothing wrong going on in what we're doing as a brand, right? So, which I feel is a great place to start from. And your toys, at least, have seemed extremely functional, simple color for kids. So that also you need a certain level of an understanding of the market to be able to come up with products like that, and also understanding between two of you to have agreement on those kind of designs. So that
Yes,
yeah.
yeah. So that's how we work, and yes, we've taken a very obvious route to sustainability by using natural wood in our toys and organic yarns to make our crochet toys. But that is not just limited to something which is, earthy and organic. Not just that. So it's again not greenwashing, because the fabrics that we are using are very different.
Hmm. Hmm.
We're not using regular cotton fabric, or we're not even using organic cotton for that matter, because we know how crammed up and how drained is the cotton as a crop now. And
Yeah.
we know how we are draining our soil because of it. In spite of the fact that it's organic,
Yeah.
yes, it's draining out essential nutrients when you start doing it. So our fabrics are actually manufactured from solid waste. I would not say solid waste, but byproducts like orange peels, orange petals, aloe vera pulp, so on and so forth. Banana skin, banana stem. So these are all ways where we're not just, saying, okay, we'll use organic cotton or we'll use bamboo fabric. We're looking at other things which otherwise would have ended up in landfills. And now
Right.
it's not, at least, and we're not producing new materials. We're just trying to use something which is already there. So that comes
Right.
as fabrics, as raw materials. Even our dyes are herbal dyes. So
Hmm.
rather than saying vegetable dyes, where we're not using edible things again. I mean, fruits and vegetables to dye. When we say vegetable dye, they're actually roots and leaves and barks of trees which are not used for eating.
Hmm. Okay.
And that's what we try and use, so that we're not even taking away from the food part of the
Like
ecosystem.
yeah.
We're not saying अच्छा हम तो पपाया से बनाएंगे, नहीं हम पपाया से नहीं बनाएंगे, पर पपाया खाने के लिए लोगों को खाने देंगे. बट हम शायद पोमेग्रेनेट स्किन से बनाएंगे, क्योंकि पोमेग्रेनेट स्किन तो वैसे भी कोई नहीं खाने वाला. So something like things like that, seeds and otherwise, which people would not eat generally,
Correct.
is what we try and use to dye our fabrics for. Or let's say when Zeal talked about eco printing, again we're talking about leaves and flowers which otherwise are not eaten.
Right. Right. Right.
We're just trying to ease out pressure from all of these things through our brand. Even the wood that we are using, in spite of the fact that wood is regenerative,
Hmm.
it takes years, decades for a tree to, become sturdy. ऐसे
Right.
5 साल में there's no tree which grows. It takes 30-40 years. So when we cut down that tree, which means we've taken away 30 years of something which was already there. So instead of using fresh wood, what we do is we have friends, like Zeal also has friends, I also have friends in construction industry and architectures and interior architects and interior designers. So we pick up wood waste from our carpenter,
Mm-hmm.
from our friends, and we use it. So
Okay.
they're all remnants, and that's how the word ReOrigin also came in. It was to so you have reuse, you have regenerate, you have recycle. We are like ReOrigin, going back to something which is already there and not using fresh resources per se. And that's
Right.
the whole idea of not try. I mean, of course, we are using fresh resources. There's no denying to it, but we are going as minimal as possible because 100% sustainability is really not possible.
Yeah.
उसके लिए तो खाना पीना छोड़ देना पड़ेगा.
So, I have a couple of questions when it comes to the plant-based materials and these herbal dyes. Just to throw some light on the entire concept, because people have a lot of questions, but yeah, avenues nahi milte, right? To ask them.
हाँ.
So when you say plant-based materials, you're saying you're working with the rejects. So say for example, lotus star nahi,
STEM.
lotus stem. Now, to actually convert it into a fabric, is that a very cumbersome process which uses a lot
Yes.
of this, or is it something again minimal? That process also is how does that happen?
Okay, so there are two ways
Yeah.
to make fabrics from these fibers. One is where we extract the fibers out of the plant and weave them, like how we have jute fabric,
Right.
which is a little coarse and all.
Yeah.
The other is the viscose process. So,
Right.
the other process is where almost everything which is waste, like orange peels, will not have fibers into it. So it's
Right.
not possible. It will end up in landfill. So here we convert it, I mean, it gets converted into viscose and then the fabric is made out of it. So essential ingredients of the orange peels like vitamin C and all are still there in the fabric.
Okay.
Even if you don't dye it, it will still have those properties. Almost 25 to 30% of properties are retained and they're not going to get washed away because it's the core ingredient.
Okay. Okay.
So there are two kinds of fabrics that we use. Essentially, for clothes which we are using, we try and use something which is softer and nicer and very luxurious so that, the baby doesn't have any problems.
Yeah. Yeah. And when you say herbal dyes, are these so baby clothes are typically washed very often, right? Like for
Right.
our, we wouldn't want to just wash everything after single wear, right? We would want to air dry and try to, especially with naturally dyed garments. At least I try to do that. I try to be careful. I try to air dry it and keep it aside and not wash it time, because I have this thing in my head that it'll the wear out is faster if I wash it more. Even though I use better wash detergents, but still I feel that it might the luster and the color might reduce. So with herbal
Yes.
dye, I typically have seen mothers having this question, and I have this question as well. That don't they fade out much quicker than usual dyes?
Do you want to
So
answer this, Dean? Yes.
yeah, so the way our clothes have been dyed, especially the indigo ones. So we've selected all pastel colors so that it cannot wash. It cannot fade further. So that's how our shade collection worked, and it looks better with every wash also, because then it gets a very soft luster to the fabric. So because we are using
the color, say if it's like a pastel blue, like
because we've used all pastels, it does not fade further.
oh,
That's the maximum amount of color that a fabric can take. That's how much we've done. That's how much we've dyed the fabric. We've not gone further. So just with the indigos, only after a first wash, indigo might wash away a little bit, but not after the first wash. So, and the natural dyes, or the company that is dyeing our clothes also have their techniques patented. They have, and we've very openly collaborated, and we've putting their name out there also. It's called True Tone Inc. So what they do is they provide a QR code.
okay.
So, people can scan their QR code and get the entire process, see the entire process, how your fabric and how your piece of clothing was dyed.
Oh, lovely.
Yes.
Yes, there is a traceability. And with our fabrics also, we have GOTS certified fabrics. So they are also certified.
Okay.
The paints, we try and not use paints on our wooden toys, but whatever paints we use, they are also certified non-toxic baby safe paints.
Okay.
And we do not use varnishes or polishes which are generally used to coat the wooden materials and wooden products. We actually use coconut oil or linseed oil so that even when the baby puts it in the mouth,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
absolutely safe. So they're
Yeah,
like
to even
100% edible oils that we're using, or the
Okay.
to
organic
naturally
yarn.
stay.
Yeah, everything is natural and organic.
How do these oils stay on the toys? I mean, they'll
So
wash it.
since it's wood, it absorbs the oil very firmly. So even before dispatching, let's say we don't have a product ready, we take 2 to 3 days just to 2 to 3 days to make the product, and 2 to 3 days to if no the product to absorb the oil. So that's
Yeah,
why
to
our
cure
delivery
it.
time most of the time says that it's 5 to 7 days to make the product and then dispatch is if we don't have the products ready. So and when it's humid, it takes like 3 to 4 days. Otherwise, the products it, the oil is
Oh,
absorbed well by the products. Yes,
okay. So what?
and also because it's coconut and linseed.
Okay.
If let's say if you're using mustard, then it's definitely not going to work with our products.
Yeah.
So
So what you're saying is that if a kid bites into your toy and a little bit of the paint peels off and they eat it, there's nothing to worry over there.
yeah,
Because
nothing. It won't.
First of
Firstly,
all,
it
exactly,
won't
it will
chip.
not chip.
Yeah.
okay.
Because
Firstly, it
we've been
won't chip.
selling toys since 2 years now, and there's no customer who has come back and told us that the color chipped.
Okay. No, this is
So
a very genuine mother questions because
yes,
I have a
yes, there would be, yes.
yeah. So that's
And
why
coming back to the color fading that you were talking about,
yeah
see, we have to understand one thing. There's a difference between natural and synthetic.
yeah.
Synthetic is where you synthesize,
Hmm.
right? And natural is just what exists in nature. So, with years of washing or years of exposure to direct sunlight,
Yeah.
yes, the colors will fade on clothes.
Right.
But if proper care is taken, if you do not dry your clothes in sun, direct sun, if you do not just abuse the fabric,
Yeah.
it's going to stay forever. In fact, how this came across as an idea was again when I was teaching.
Hmm.
I did a research on natural dyes, and also before that, when I was at NID, I've done all experiments on natural dyes. So I know for sure that if cured properly,
Hmm.
natural dyes are not going to fade or bleed like how the usual sellers sell it
Right.
out in the market. It's not going to fade. No, because if we go back to museums and we see textiles which are like 500, 600, 800 years old, they also still retain that luminosity and
Right.
that vibrance.
Right.
Everything doesn't fade out. So no, it's not because it's natural dyes. Things fade because they're not cured properly. The
Hmm.
fabrics are not cured properly. And let's say even if when we talk about colors being and the whole idea is to let it age. Like
Okay.
how we also age day by day. Let the fabrics and the colors also age day by day. It's just going to add to the beauty of it. And
Yeah,
it's
it
going to add
actually
to the
is.
value of it.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
No,
Yes. So
from my personal experiences with things that have been claimed to be naturally dyed and then fading with every wash. So that's not a very pleasant experience when you buy something which is orange, becomes almost all white after a couple of washes, right? And
yes.
that's concern that we have also seen a lot of people asking around these things when we have our market. So people actually they've started down the process of the natural dyes, and here I'm not talking about herbal dyes because that is something that I've not I don't have much knowledge about. But the natural dyes nowadays a lot of brands are claiming that our clothes are being naturally dyed. So these beetroot is being used, and I think mustard, sorry, haldi is being used to dye some stuff. But 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 there's a lot of confusion about this. And how is it? Is it the process that is at fault, or is it the entire concept of using edibles to create colors on garments is at fault, or debate around natural dyes leading to misleading in a lot of situations. And I have experienced it. So it is not coming just from hearing people, but I have picked up things at from time to time which have not worked out very well, and that's why I kind of wanted to understand. So from what I understand from you is it's how the fabric is treated after the dye after it has been dyed, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that is different because
And also what modern, how the fabric was moderned, that also matters a
Pre-dyeing.
lot.
Yeah.
So
Pre-dyeing process and post-dyeing process both matter.
so pre-dyeing, what has to be done pre-dyeing? I mean, just for a layman to understand, if I am going out to buy a natural dyed fabric or a garment made out of it, what are the questions that I should ask to be sure that okay, this is something that I'm is authentic. I mean, there's no full way, but I'm just
No.
so the first process would be the scouring of the fabric, where the fabric has to be put in boiled water, and
okay.
the water has to be of lukewarm temperature, where the scouring happens, and has to and that's where all the dirt from the market, because the fabric goes through a lot of processes before it reaches the dyer.
Right.
Okay, so a lot of dirt on it, so that has to be washed away.
Okay.
Then would come the that's when the modern tin comes. So there's a lot of salts, rock salts, alum. That it depends also which color, which ingredient you are using to dye later. So there are a lot of different mordants that has to be used. So yes, while the process of scouring is happening, they also put a lot of aretha in it to wash the fabric.
Oh.
So yes, so that's exactly what that's a pre-dyeing
So that is
process. And I think Maithlee has something to add to that.
Yes.
Yeah,
So,
she
no, not a problem. So it's not just lukewarm water and salts and moderns, of course, that is there. But traditionally, the dyers have used cow dung and cow urine to bleach the fabric to get it corrected. And that
wow.
is antiseptic and that is therapeutic. Like गौमूत्र तो लोग पीने को बोलते हैं ना. So
Correct.
it's actually, that's how the entire process starts. And then when we have haldi and manjushta and pomegranate skin coming in, or avla seeds coming in, or harda coming in as dyes, these are also very well known Ayurvedic medicines.
Correct.
Most of them used to treat skin problems.
It's all
So even if the color fades, let's say the color bleeds or fades, it's just going to do good to the baby's skin.
okay.
It's the haldi which is going to touch your baby's body. It's not some unknown chemical which you don't know where is it coming from and what does it have.
No.
It's that. So, and then once that is done, it's again cured using alum or dao ke phool or some other treating agent, which is also natural, including salts, like edible salts.
Right.
पुराने ज़माने में होता था पूरा, like if we talk to our grandmothers, they would just first get the fabric and soak it in salt, if you remember.
Right.
That was
Right.
always the first step that they did.
Yeah.
That was to fix the color if at all it was not fixed properly, and also to disinfect, because salt disinfects
Correct.
the fabric.
Correct.
So these are few things which, if still done properly, and that's what, like Zeal mentioned, True Tone does.
Okay.
So True Toning follows all these things, and I'm sure they do a lot more than what we've just spoken about.
Right.
And that's how they have their fabrics dyed just like very well, and they're all herbal dyes. Plus, there is a traceability when we are dyeing it. There is a traceability when we are sourcing the fabrics. So it's not that, and we very well put it on our page that we have collaborated with Neve and IIT Gandhinagar CSR section to stitch our fabrics, or we've collaborated with a woman artisan and her team to make our crochet toys, and a carpenter to make our wooden toys. So everything is out there. We're not lying, we're not cheating, we're not concealing any information, to be honest.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. I
So,
mean, that's what I think also deserves. I think when people try a brand and they come and they try to figure out what the brand stands for, then it becomes our responsibility to give them something which is completely foolproof, right? So worth our brand name. So
yes.
yeah. So these were just questions that I am typically asked when I'm a part of these markets, or when I talk about or when I promote such products. People come back and ask me that you're talking about this. Is actually, how is this done? What is the prereq? What is how it is treated later on? Why thing? What are the issues? Is this brand not the right brand with? So I try to get these answers from the experts, which is you guys here, and also all the other founders on the platform, because this is your baby, so this information coming directly from you guys is the most authentic, right? And I hope people understand and see the effort that's going on behind creating anything, as small as a kid's toy also, because you guys are so particular about where the wood is coming from, what paints are going on, how it's being treated. You are also very careful about who you market it to, because I interacted with you the other day, so I'm very well aware. Don't you know that not everybody understands what you're doing, and that's why it is a set of people who are actually your team completely, right? So
Yes.
there is absolute clarity about what is happening, how it's happening, and I'm sure it's being translated to the consumer as well. And that's all that I am here to do, because we are just a bridge, right? We are basically a sales channel to make sure that great products reach people who are actually looking out for great products. So we also know that we are actually not a platform for everybody. So whoever we onboard, we also feel that we have a responsibility to transfer this knowledge and this information from one place to another, and that's all that we are trying to do through these conversations. Because जब तक बात नहीं करेंगे, question नहीं पूछेंगे, how will we really know what's happening? And it's always a doubt in us, right, कि जो दूसरा कर
This
रहा है.
is what, yes, yes, this is what always we've had various interactions with quite a lot of mentors across the world, because we were incubated at IIT Gandhinagar. So, we had a lot of sessions, and there was this one pertinent question that was always asked as to why this or why not this. And while answering them, we realized a lot of things which are now also put into our products and into our story and into our working of the entire product life cycle. So, that also matters a lot. When you are asked questions is when, while answering them and while looking for answers for them, we realize a lot of things which we put in eventually.
Right.
So that is important. Asking questions is brilliant. Like,
Yeah.
since forever, I think Zeal might vouch for it, that I've always asked students also to ask questions, ask something, challenge us, so that I I learn something from them, and that's
Yeah.
exactly why we are together, because she has a lot of questions, and something which I would not have is what she has, and I learn a lot through it. And when that gets put into the making of whatever we are doing, products or services, it yields results. Yes, awareness is very less,
Yeah.
but that's what we are here for. Even if it's a small step towards doing something positive and something good, I think we've started winning the war, just fighting little battles.
Yeah, I think you won the war just when you decide that you want to do something so amazing. So that is definitely already happened. But yeah, it's great if we could, and that's what I tell everybody that we have a live with. If we could keep doing this and keep sharing information, I'm sure कोई नहीं, एक दो तीन लोग भी अगर they hear this out, or
Huh.
they and they learn something from it, because I'm definitely learning. I don't have all the answers, and I'm being asked a lot of questions because people think that, okay, there is this platform and you know everything. There is so much that you put out there. You should take it and where I want to get to, and that's why the questions itself. So I think this was very, very interesting, and thank you so much for all the time out on Friday evening. This and just just a lot of luck to you guys with the brand.
To all of us.
To all of us.
To all
Yes.
of us. And this is again just a start for the way we thought we'll build some content together. So this is very significant content that will be put out there, and then we can build on it, and if people gain something from it, understand, or maybe uh, uh, just get some clarity, or maybe some entrepreneur gets the clarity to partner with their student and start up something, because there is such great chemistry happening. So yeah, learning everywhere. And thank you so much, you guys, for joining us. And
Thank you, Pallavi, for having us here.
thank you so much. And lovely working with you. I hope we can do better in the future. And kind of
Yes, let's together create more awareness and promote this whole idea of just having a little better life for everybody.
yes. All right. Thank you. Have a lovely evening, both of you.
You too. Take care. Bye.
Bye bye.